On today's Hey Cuzz Podcast episode, we interview Shelecia Odette Johnson, owner and operator of Urban Lit 2022 candles. What began as therapy in a tin has grown into a brand with bold scents, calming vibes, and steady momentum. Urban Lit started without a business plan, without a blueprint, just a spark of curiosity and a need to start over. In 2022, Shelecia lit her first candle, not knowing it would turn into a business, but knowing she needed something that felt like peace. She didn't have venture capital, a team of investors, or even all the know-how, but she had heart, hustle, and the courage to figure it out. Family, please help me welcome to Hey Cuzz Podcast, Shelecia Odette Johnson. Hello and welcome back to the Hey Cuzz Podcast with me, your host, Olivia J. This is your favorite Cuzzcast where you're either a real cousin or a play cousin. And today we have a cousin. Is she a play cousin? Is she a real cousin? And she goes by the name of Shelecia Odette Johnson. You've heard already all about her. Welcome, Shelecia, to the Hey Cuzz Podcast. Hey, Cuzz.
Hey, Cuzz. How are you?
How you been, Cuzz?
I'm good, Cuzz. How you been, Cuzz?
I'm good. I won't complain. You know, I did not know that you were gonna rep camouflage today. I mean, did we need to send a family memo?
Well, sometimes great minds think alike. That's all I got to say.
I love it. I love it.
Great minds.
Well, speaking of great minds, Shelecia is going to tell us all about her. Well, it's been about 3 years since she's had her business now. And it's been 3 years, right?
Yeah, 3 years, 3 years.
And it is called, her business has transitioned from just candles to its new name, which is Urban Lit 2022. First of all, tell us about your transition and how you decided that you wanted to drum up the nerve, really, to start your candle business. Give us the beginning.
So going back to 2020, whenever the world shut down, a lot was happening in my life. And my whole goal at that time was to try to have another stream of revenue because although my job never slowed down at all, I just still felt like I could do more. The world slowed down. It kind of got quiet. So I was like, let me see what else I can do. So I started out thinking of things. I started bedazzling sneakers or attempted to bedazzle sneakers. That did not go over well. I tried to do the screen print T-shirt. That didn't go over well.
Tell us about why it didn't go so well. We want to hear all the business.
The bedazzled, oh my gosh, that was so tedious. And the little the gems, the rhinestones on the little wax and the little pin on the sneaker. No, it just wasn't me. I thought the
Really?
word.
You don't do rhinestones?
I like them. I just can't do them.
Okay.
I
I respect that because I have glued some rhinestones on some flip flops, thinking that I was going to make them new, and them rhinestones fell off by 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! It looked real easy, but I just couldn't get it done. I couldn't get it done.
And then screen printing. Everybody's screen printing. How did that not work out?
The screen print machine cost too much money.
That part. Actually, my best friend from middle school she went in and got the whole gambit. I mean, she literally went in, and then one day she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like,
yeah, I can see that. Since I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, that's why I wasn't trying to invest a lot of money into anything in the very beginning. I would find things on Amazon or find things on Etsy to just purchase little small purchases and try to work it out. And if I liked it, then I would move on to something bigger and better. After the screen print, thing didn't go well, I tried the candles back in 2020. So I, of course, like everybody else, you might want to go on YouTube, find a recipe, and there was a lot of math involved in the recipes for creating candles. I did not find a simple recipe. It was always 18% to 29% to 13%, 4 ounces. I'm like, wait a minute, I need simple 1, 2, 3, 4 for me to get this together. So in 2020, I looked at a couple of videos and it didn't work out in 2020. So moving forward, after I purchased my home and moved out of the city I was living in,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting at the house, like, okay, let's try this candle thing again.
Mm-hmm.
I went back on YouTube and I put in DIY recipe for candles.
Okay.
And when I tell you
That
it
was the
was,
buzzword, DIY,
yes, ma'am,
right
it
there.
was it was three
The
numbers involved.
University of YouTube. The
Yes,
University of
yes, ma'am. So when this lady was in her kitchen telling me how many ounces of wax per ounce of fragrance oil,
hmm
how high to get your wax before you pour it at another temperature, it was four sets of numbers, and that's all I had to remember. And that
Didn't
was
need
it.
calculus. Didn't need
Did
calculus to
no,
make some
didn't
candles.
did not. Prior to that, I don't know what happened from 2020 to 2022, but somebody
People got
did.
tired. They were tired. They're like, we've been
I
home and
guess
we're not
so.
doing the math is not mathing. We
No, ma'am.
need simplicity with candle
Thank
making.
you. And that's what I needed. So it was right before December 2022 when I started making them. So I was able to sell my first batch for the Christmas holidays in
Okay.
2022.
What was the most rewarding part of when you first so how did that feel when you first sold your candle? Because I want the viewers to understand that you didn't come from self-employment. Like you're if it's okay for us to say what your
Yeah, that's
your
fine.
your your full-time
Absolutely.
job is. I mean, she is a correctional officer. You're a senior detention officer, right?
Yes.
Shelecia is a senior detention officer, and I have to go ahead and inform y'all that she is actually a real cousin. Let me tell y'all, we show up on time to the family functions because we don't want to have to meet her at the door. Okay.
A mess. A mess. I love it.
but
I love it.
but because of that job requiring so much, this seems like the total opposite of that. Like um you're bringing atmosphere in spaces that need a little more illumination, right? You're bringing
Absolutely.
fragrance, you're bringing light, you're bringing enjoyment, soothing, because it's total opposite of the environment that you have to work in. I mean, you think when you get off work, I know me, I like to light a candle because I like the flicker of the light. My sister-in-law loves candles. I mean, she has them everywhere. And so I just want to know what inspired you. Was it just that you were looking to do something to start a business? But I wouldn't imagine you doing candles transitioning from your day-to-day with what you have to
Mm,
deal with. You deal
no.
with putting out fires at work.
And here
You
I
want to
am
come
trying
home and start a fire?
to start fires. um, I had a coworker friend of mine who started making perfume.
Okay.
So she and I were talking one day about the things that I could do,
Mm-hmm.
things that I could like help bring in, another set of money into your home. So I told her about my initial process back in 2020.
Okay.
And she was like, won't you do it? You got the clientele right here at the jail. I was like, I don't know. She was like, look, people love candles. You should
Mm-hmm.
do it. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just like that one day out of the blue, I got a little nudge and I got
Mm-hmm.
thinking about it. I like candles. I
Mm-hmm.
like to walk in the room and smell a candle. I like to walk out of the room and have the candle still in my nose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of male and female coworkers that are real, I'm not going to say dainty,
Mm-hmm.
but they like,
A lot of men love candles. My
yes,
husband loves a candle. I
yes.
mean, he is like between a pen and a candle.
I hear them talking about what they're relaxing when they get off work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I knew just by just the everyday conversation with some coworkers on how they relax or what they like to do, I knew candles would fit if nowhere else. Sitting by a hot bath, sipping on some wine,
Mm-hmm.
light a candle in your little recliner chair.
Mm-hmm.
Just setting the mood is what I was kind
The
of looking
flicker
forward to
of the
doing.
light, and I love the name Urban Lit because the flicker of the light is something that anybody can afford.
Mhm.
You light a match, you light a candle. It's one of the most simplistic things that you can still do to bring a little bit of calm and relaxation into your space. And some people play a little soft music.
Mhm.
But if you partner that with the fragrance of a candle,
Mhm.
then now you're working with something. I don't
Yep.
think that I ever thought I would see a candle be priced at the prices that they are today, right?
Yeah,
They are quite expensive. And the
they
thing
can
is
be.
that as expensive as some of them can be, my husband has the nerve, your cousin, to like Yankee candles.
Okay, well, we all got to like something.
Yeah,
No,
well,
no, no disrespect. Yankee Candle. There's some good candles. They're
yeah.
good, but them
So
boogers are
the
pricey.
the reason I brought up Yankee candles is not to endorse them because we are here to talk about urban lit, but people always want to compare product with product.
Hmm.
Give us the reason why your candles either are on that level or just above it. Have you found that there are people that have come to you and said, I like Yankee candles and I tried your candles and then drum roll.
I get the Bed Bath and Beyond whenever
Okay.
they're at my table purchasing my
Okay.
candles. Oh, I love Bed Bath and Beyond candles. They're so good. I said, you know what? This is what I do. I break down my recipe for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It only is my recipe requires 1 ounce of wax to one. I'm sorry, 1 pound of wax to one
Don't
ounce
give
of
us your
fragrance.
recipe. Don't give us your recipe now. Your recipe is simplistic. Let's say
Recipe,
that.
the race. You're right. Well, put it this way: I put more of one. When you burn my candles, the minute you can take the lid off my candle, and it lights up the room. Depending on the
Mm.
size of the room, depending on how tall your ceilings are, you don't have to burn my candle. If you put my candle in the bathroom, take the lid off, you can smell my candle.
Oh,
If you put my
okay.
candle in your office, take the lid off, you can smell my candle.
Okay.
That's called a
Okay.
closed throw without you even having to light it up or warm it up. You can smell it. So with
Okay.
that being said, if you can smell it like that, that distinctively without it
Mm-hmm.
being lit,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if you light it, just imagine how it would fill up a room.
Now,
My
what is the
goal was
what is the life? I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. What is the lifespan of a typical candle? Like, say, if you open up, is it going to scent the room for said number of days? I don't know how you gauge that.
I gauge it whenever you light it. An 8 ounce soy wax. It depends on the wax for one. I use pure soy wax in my candles. A lot of people don't believe me, but an 8 ounce soy wax candle will burn for 24 to 36 hours. But
Wow.
who burns their candle like who likes their candle and just let it burn? I've
Hmm.
experienced it. I've tried it just to see, so I wouldn't be telling anybody in the store because I read that
Okay.
initially. I was like, that sounds like a long time to burn a candle, but I've tried it.
Okay.
Yeah, my candles will burn well past 24 hours.
That is excellent. That is
Yeah.
excellent. And so your fragrances, now what inspires your fragrances? Are they inspired by urban things or where do you how do you come up with the concepts for your fragrances? Tell us how you
When,
break those down.
when I initially started the candle making process, I purchased my items from a particular place, a local establishment here in Durham. Not local, they all over the United States, but they have a warehouse here in Durham,
Mm-hmm.
where I live at. So I was like, okay, I didn't know one fragrance from the next unless it was like a fruit, like
Okay.
limoncello cream. I know it's gonna smell like lemon.
Okay.
Pear brandy, it's gonna smell like pear.
Mm-hmm.
Cashmere plum, I got the plum in there. So what I did was I started at the top of the list. And I just went A, Amber Noir. Um, what's another A? I forget the first one that I made. But anyway, I started at the top of the list and everything was in alphabetical order. So
Mm-hmm.
when I started at the top, I worked my way down. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
pick out things that I had never heard in my life.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the wordage was concerned or the title was concerned, I primarily picked the ones that I've heard something about.
Mm-hmm.
But I also went into the warehouse and realized to smell them.
Okay.
So I just chose things depending on the season for one
Mm-hmm.
and what I liked. But most importantly, I picked out things that I did not like at all because everybody don't smell like I smell.
Right.
So I figure if I didn't like it, somebody would.
Yeah.
And that has worked for at least four of my scents that I
Okay.
absolutely did not care for at all. And they sold. I was shocked.
Tell us about your scents. What are your scents? We're going to put them up on the screen here.
My top seller is one called Jamaica Me Crazy.
Jamaican Me Crazy.
Jamaica Me Crazy, yes.
Okay.
If you can think of every fruit under the heavens thrown into a basket, you cook it and you just inhale it, that's Jamaica Me Crazy.
Okay.
I have my favorite now is frankincense and myrrh.
Okay.
Uh,
That's
I've
got that has a biblical tone to it.
yeah,
Frankincense and
and
myrrh.
so I brought it out. It was one of my holiday fragrances. But when I brought it out, it's just a scent that is so clean, so it just it's kind of like opens your mind. I can't even describe it. It just makes you feel like, oh my gosh. And it's sad that I
Mm.
can't describe it any better than that. It just smells so wonderful to me.
It's
It really
okay. It's
is.
not something that you hear a fragrance of. Is that something that people can get all year long, or are your
Yes.
fragrances tailored to to certain seasons?
No.
Well,
No.
and what's the other two that you were going to mention?
Amber Noir was the
Hmm.
very first one. Amber Noir just making me crazy were my top two sellers when I initially started making the candles.
Jamaican Me Crazy sounds like a drink.
People are drawn to it because of the name initially. They're
Uh-huh.
like, oh, you're making me crazy. They're like, oh, that sounds tropical. It is. Here, take a whiff. Um, they kill it. I was like, okay, so what's your best seller? I just point. They're like, oh, you're making me crazy. I said, yeah,
He's like,
just
what you
try it.
drinking? Jamaica Me Crazy.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
it's a
That and
candle? You
this
drinking
past
a
holiday,
candle?
yeah, it's a candle. I'll drink, man.
Okay.
And so in this past holiday season, I found one called Butterscotch and Bourbon.
Butterscotch and bourbon.
Yep, Butterscotch and Bourbon.
Okay. We're going to take a pause here, viewers, because apparently my cousin thinks she's at the bar.
Hey, you got to tailor to your clientele. You just never know where you might go pop up. You never know.
Okay. Bar sales, Jamaica Me Crazy.
Hey, yeah, yeah. You got to cater tailor to everybody. I just did a pop up a couple of weeks ago, and it went over well with the names of some of the product that I had, some of the scents that I had. I guess it's like they wonder, like, what in the world? Butterscotch and bourbon, ginger and spice.
I want to ask you about starting your business because that is a place that a lot of people are having to visit right now. You hear about people losing jobs and losing hope and losing confidence in that they can do what they love and love what they do. So when we were in this, pandemic that nobody wants to talk about anymore because it's been 5 years, right? But when we were in the pandemic, people thought the world was coming to an end. What are we going to do? Everybody's making masks and doing all the other things.
Mm-hmm.
And you were thinking about these candles. What encouraged you, or what made you think that did you know initially that you were going to do this as a side business? I think you mentioned that in the beginning, but did you think that this could materialize, that this could eventually be something that you would say open up a storefront for, or have a significant impact on your community with? And if so, how have you found that your mind concerning that then has changed now? The model. Are you more serious minded now, or are you still in the process of, oh, I just enjoy doing this?
I would say a combination of both. I mean, for me and the job that I have, my world never stopped. I had still had to get up and go to work every day.
Yeah, you were
So
what they called
an essential employee.
an essential employee.
Hmm.
Yeah, I forgot the term because we were
So
deemed as unessential.
yeah, that's crazy. So I was always going to work. So for the most part, a lot of stuff can be changed, but getting up every day, going to work, that never changed. My mindset never changed. So part of me always knew that we were going to be okay on some level.
Hmm.
Um, a larger part of me understood the fact that once the world did get back on their feet, a lot of businesses were not going to be there because they just couldn't make it through the
Hmm.
pandemic.
Oh yeah.
He went my way. So when I started working on the candles, I looked at down the road and me retiring.
Mm-hmm.
I have 23 years in my job in September.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell people, well, after 8 years, I mean, you walk out the door, but I need to have something lined up for me to walk out the door. And
Another strand of income. It's wise to
yes,
do that. You hear people, say that now. There used to be a time that people would keep their side job away from their regular job because they didn't want their regular job to say, oh, you're doing another job.
oh
But
no,
it takes it to make it in some
it do.
cases.
So
Right, right, right,
everybody
right.
everybody understands that, and I always thought that it may end up being more than what it is right now. Right now, it's fun for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it not being fun.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan is to have something lined up for me towards the end of my career that I have now.
Mm-hmm.
That I can roll right into doing this full time.
Okay, so it's something that you are considering that you would want to do full time. So, well, we want to talk about where people can get those candles. You can go to urbanlit2022.com. And the reason it's urbanlit 2022 is because you decided to go ahead and make a move on that business in 2022,
Yeah,
right?
2022, absolutely.
You were playing around with it in 2020, but
I was
officially but it
I was
was
all over the place in 2020.
but it became official in 2022.
Official in
So
2022.
so they can go to Urban Lit 2022. That's with one T, Urban Lit. We've got it up on the screen there, or it's down in the description. You can go to Urban Lit 2022 and check out the line of candles. We're going to post your social media where they can reach out to you to have the candles. Now, do you ship directly or do you have like an online store? We'll be able to see your online store when we go to Urban Lit, because it's not just candles. There are other things there too as well,
Yes.
right? Yes.
Absolutely.
So what do you say to someone who wants to start a business that is maybe thinking that it's going to fail? Because this was very low overhead. So this was a really good business to start because it's something you do for your home. You're just buying products and you had to get your formula right. But what do you say to somebody who doesn't even think that they have the wherewithal to do that even?
I didn't think I had it. I just said, I'm just gonna do it. Don't be afraid to try anything. You never know what works for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You never know. And even though it took me two times to get the candle thing right, still I kept at it. I went back to it because I guess something was drawing me to it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was me having to beat the first video I saw. Like, no, it's not gonna get me. Oh, this math
Yeah,
and these
because that most
fractions
people
and
would have been
no.
afraid of all of that math,
So I thought I said there's got to be something else simpler to make a good candle, and I
Mhm,
found it. I just don't be afraid to do it.
mhm. So you have your own specific recipe and you have your own formula. Is there anybody that you're mentoring in candle making, like a granddaughter, maybe?
Oh my goodness, Rose wants she? Yes,
Her
I would
granddaughter
say
is
yes.
adorable, our little
I
cousin.
would say yes. I have an event coming up in a few weeks.
Mhm.
Um, and I was working on some candles the other day, and she was like, "Grandma, can I help?" I was like, "Lord have mercy, you put my labels on sideways. It's gonna be a problem." So I limit what she do right now, but she knows what she has an idea what to do. She can put a wick in the candle tin. She can put a label on the bottom of the tin. We haven't got as far as her pouring and measuring just yet, but I got her doing what she can do.
I love it.
She'll do five and she said, "Okay, I'm tired, I'm done." Like, wait a minute now, what are you doing? But
Just a baby. That's what they
yeah,
do.
mm-hmm.
That's what they do. Well, Odette, I want to thank you so much for coming on. We call her Odette in the family. Shelecia is her real name. That's her government name.
It's my
No,
government.
Odette is your government name too.
Oh, that's
but
all
but
me.
but we call her I will say what we call her, but old dog. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that's how the
she was
podcast. That's
she was in my wedding and she has this tattoo on her
mhm.
arm. And my grandmother was like, is she going to go before the Lord with that tattoo on? I was like, Grandma, you don't want to mess with that one. She'll rough you up now.
Like, oh my goodness. Yes, yes, ma'am, I am. We'll talk to you about it later.
That's not my husband's play cousin. That's his real cousin. You don't want to go with that one. But anyway, it worked. And then at the end, my grandmother absolutely adored her. And I do. And I love you so much. Yes. And I'm so proud of you with the candle business.
Thank you.
We got to get our we have to get our shipment in. I have to be honest. I haven't been able to get my shipment in because we've been doing everything else. But we have got to get our shipment in because we absolutely love candles. And we say again.
I'm here. Just let me know what you want.
Yes. So your online store, you're not like on Amazon. So y'all, when you're ordering candles from her, you are ordering directly from her. You're not ordering from a third party. You're getting it from the person. And so I want to encourage you to please go to urbanlit2022.com and place your order for your family, your friends, your gifts. I mean, there's a holiday every month coming up. And men love candles too. So, you can give a candle for Father's Day and, Mother's Day is coming up. So, you have an event coming up as well. So you do a lot of kiosks around town. So we'll be able to see your events calendar too when we go to your website to see where you're going to be next and, your pop-up tables. But if you're not able to make it physically to the Raleigh-Durham area, you can go online and support this sister's business. She's our family. She's our real family. And so I want to encourage you to do that today. Odette, thank you so much for coming on Hey Cuzz Podcast.
You're welcome. You are so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are welcome. And as we probably going to say when we get off the phone, after we get off this call, you know what we say. Until next time. Bye, Cuzz.
Bye, Cuzz.
Love you.
Love you too. I'm Shelecia Johnson, owner and operator of urbanlit2022.com candle company. And you're tuned in to Hey Cuzz Podcast with my real cousin, Shelecia J.
Thank you for joining this episode of the Hey Cuzz Podcast with me, your host, Shelecia J. I hope that you will like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to post your comments. We'd love to hear from you.